Alrighty, so I figured I would come in here and go ahead and address a few things. So instead of just constantly replying to comments, I have replied to actually just about every comment, but I figured I would go ahead and make some of what I have to say public. So on my video of covering the grind exploit in Pacifica and a few of the comments on here, I figured I would go ahead and talk about. Let me go ahead and pull up some of these comments. So, a few things. Alright, so here's one of the main comments. I'm not going to say who was commented by. So, one of the main comments I've seen is, and it's honestly just complaining about the game. But I don't think people understand, how actually fixing the game works. So what this person says is, majority of the beginning shops in the beginning area are focused around only selling clothes with stats aimed towards stamina and melee. I can already tell you that's a lie because I'm actually here in where would be considered the starting area. Because this is where you are when you're first able to access free roam. Now, I'm not going to do these two shops up here, even though they technically are the very beginning shops that they don't even sell clothes. Like, that's the thing. They don't sell clothes. They sell their respective guns and knives. Well, guns and melee weapons, because that's what their shops are for. The only place I can think of, the beginning area that sells clothes, are these places up here. And honestly, I don't know exactly what they're targeted for, but we are going to go find out. But so what he said was that the beginning zone, the shop seemed to just focus on selling stuff for melee. And honestly, I don't really see what the big issue with that is, because me personally, melee early game is your best bet. You don't have to worry about running out of ammo. You don't have to worry about any of that. But let's go ahead and see what this gun shop sells. Well, clothes shop. So, let's see. Reduces damage. Clothes mod. Okay, melee damage reduction. Melee damage reduction. Strength. Explosive reduction. Which I'm not going to go through all of these. Obviously, there are some that are heavily targeted towards melee, and I can understand that, like I said, because in my opinion, melee is your best bet to start off with in the beginning zone. Let's see what another thing is. So another thing that I can cover while going to said area. Hang on, because one, I need to go to a specific thing. This guy right here. So let me go ahead and start heading over there while I talk about another thing that I decided to bring up was the enemies being bullet sponges. So I can understand. Oh, well, that's why you don't read comments and drive, people. Anywho, even though I'm gonna go back right to it. So running around blasting anything. So he's saying the game has turned into a looter shooter, where you go around spending thousands of rounds, and because the enemies have become bullet sponges. I necessarily haven't realized this. I have realized some enemies just take 1 or 2 shots more, but not really bullet sponges. And while they say they want the cyberpunk experience focused around cyberware, the thing is, it's not focused around cyberware in general. Cyberware, to me at least, and do keep in mind, everything I'm talking about here in this video is my opinion. You might have a different one. To me, cyberware isn't something that should be used as your main. Alright, cyberware should not be your main attack. If it is, oh, that's, I hope you've built your character correctly for it. But the thing with cyberware, I see it as an asset. I see it as you can get some decent damage off on the enemy, and then be able to go into a fight. Being able to go ahead and kill your enemies. And if you want to build your thing around cyberware, you just have to build your class correctly. Well, not your class, but you have to get the right stats, get the right cyberware and levels in each thing. Then another thing that they brought up was this vehicle right here. I'm not going to try and say it. Reading disability, go Bert. But one of their complaints was that it went from 25,000 eddies to 5,800 eddies. Well, 58,000 eddies. Sorry. Personally, I'm going to say this right now. I don't really see a big issue with it because of one small thing. We have such overpowered money glitches right now. Now, I understand if you're trying to play the game legit, no glitches, no stuff like that. Just trying to play the game normally. I can understand where you would be a little mad about that. But, like I said, and another reason why I really don't see what the problem with this one is. So if I were to go to journal and go to, let's say, okay, as you can see, some of these vehicles that you'd normally see around every person driving in Cyberpunk, they're decently cheap, all right? And obviously, the nicer the car, like this one right here, the more expensive it is. Because, you're paying for quality. Now, this one, I actually don't see why it's 69,000. I think that's because this is like a DLC thing. But like all the crappy cars, well, not the crappy cars, some of them are actually pretty decent. But like the luxury cars, like this one right here, are decently expensive. And I don't see this as a normal motorcycle. I see this one as a luxury motorcycle, top of the line, stuff like that. So that's why I think well, why I don't have a huge problem with the $58,000 price tag on it. Another thing that was brought up was someone, actually, as of recording this just 3 hours ago, said that in patch 1.6, the enemies no longer spawn here at Pacifica. They say then the enemies no longer spawn. Well, that's false, because yes, the video I posted going over this grinding method, yes, it was posted the day of patch 1.6, but that is for one simple reason. I don't edit my videos. I don't know how to yet. I'm learning. So I'm able to record a video, make sure I got all the information across, and post it. No edit time, no stuff like that. A new thing here. Protest, I guess. Anywho. So I can understand why people would be wondering, would probably suggest, oh, then you probably weren't recording it on patch 1.16. Well, 1.6, sorry. Even though I was. I'm actually actively on 1.6. Because it was released 9 days ago, and I really don't need a vehicle for it, but I can run up here right now, and they'll be up here. Something I have realized while spending my time over here is, hang on, I'm gonna go ahead and call it closer so I can use it to get away easier. But so we're gonna go ahead and use monowire. By the way, monowire is actually pretty decent. I always fucked around with Gorilla Fist and stuff like that. But, so let's go ahead and get out of here. I want to see if I can get it to happen. I don't know if I will be able to. But sometimes whenever... and honestly, it might just be from where my cyberpunk is an older save. And, they're still spawning via this save. I don't know what's going on, but it's not letting me drive this anymore. So, that's great. Anywho. So, I don't exactly know if it could be that. I'm not going to go through the hassle of going through all the starting missions just to test it. If someone would be kind enough to test it for me and let me know in the comments of this video, that would be amazing. But to me, it honestly seems like more of them are spawning. But it does not look like I got them to glitch this time. But sometimes the enemies would glitch and just would not attack you. You could still attack them. They might have their weapon drawn or might not. But it's like they're not counted as hostiles. They don't show up on the minimap as hostiles or anything like that. Let's see. Okay, so here's another one. The dude is basically saying that why would they... hang on. Okay. So this guy is basically saying, why would they waste their time fixing the money glitches and stuff like that? Well, one, they want you to play the game normally. Two, give me a sec. Alrighty, sorry for a sec. Cat was meowing at me. Anywho, back to what I was saying. Why would they spend all the time patching these money glitches? He says that even though you can't make enough money in the game, you can make enough money in the game. Trust me. You just have to know what to do. Because there's multiple different ways of making money in this game, and not just from main story missions. Like, you got the crime reports, cyber psychos, and this glitch right here shows an amazing way of another thing of how to make money. And that is purely just collecting everything you can and then selling it for a profit. So there's multiple different ways you can make money in the game other than just side gigs and main story missions. And another thing this guy says is his game is still buggy in 1.6. I'm not saying that they have patched everything for everyone. Obviously, you know, there's still some glitches. Like, actually, here's one right now. A little bit of a texture glitch, if you will. But, I'm not saying, you know, because it could just simply be the way his game is. But then he goes to compare it to GTA. Awesome graphics. He's saying awesome graphics. You can make good money. Well, easy money. And Cyberpunk can't even do that. Well, so here's my comment to that. Don't compare Cyberpunk, because Cyberpunk was released in 2020. All right. GTA 5 was released in I forget what day it was. Well, what year? 2013. All right. So they've had those years to fix the game, to balance it. The reason why you can make money fast in GTA is because everything is expensive. All right? Because I also play GTA. I don't play it and record it, but I play it. And yeah, you can make money quick, but it's the setup that takes a while. Now, I don't know if he's speaking of in multiplayer or campaign. I don't necessarily play campaign. But in multiplayer, you might make good money, but it takes a while. You might make quick money because you get a lot of money from each mission, but each mission takes a while to complete. And with Cyberpunk, you know, the thing is, everything's decently cheap in here. Like, nothing, haven't seen anything cost over $100,000. Which means you have no use for $100,000 in Cyberpunk. Now, obviously, if you're going around buying a bunch of stuff, you know, it's gonna add up to $100,000. But I have yet to see an item that costs $100,000. You know, it could be a luxury vehicle that I just haven't seen or something like that. But items that you need, such as guns, ammo, melee, stuff like that, I haven't seen go over 50,000. All right. Now, vehicles are optional because you get 3 decent vehicles for free, such as the one I'm riding, Scorpions, and then obviously your beginning car, the car you get from the very beginning, for absolutely free. And then other vehicles down the line. So the reason why it takes a while to make money going through non-glitch ways is because not everything's that expensive. Let's see if there's anything else I need to address. I think that is all. Now, I did have a person say people are farming at the Coyote Bar. I have seen the farming on Coyote Bar. It is on my to-do list. But for those of you who don't know, I am still a high school student, so I record when I can. But yeah, I think I've basically covered everything that I needed to. And if anyone wants to put their 2 cents in the comments, feel free. I'll politely talk it out with you. You know, I'm not going to be one of those where it's like my choice is the only choice. Well, my opinion's the only opinion, and that's final. No, I'm actually going to sit here and talk it out with you and actually hear your reasoning. If there's anything else, any other glitches you all find that you'll think I'd want to know about, go ahead, shoot them down in the comments. Any questions? I respond to comments pretty quick. I'm usually able to get to a comment within 24 hours. I think just about every comment that I've replied to, I've gotten to within a day or two. But yeah, I will see you all later.